Amitabh Ghosh is the chairman of Science Operations Working Group Mission at NASA. He joins me live from Washington, D.C. Mr. Ghosh, it's a pleasure having you. It is an exciting moment here for SpaceX and a significant one at that, I would imagine. Why?
SpaceX was founded barely 20 years ago, less than 20 years ago. It was a startup just like any other that you see with no capability. They started from zero, developed their first launch vehicle, which was Falcon 1, then Falcon 9. And then they got into this commercial crew contract with NASA. And then they have delivered on transporting astronauts to the space station. So this is a very, very big deal. This is very high technology. For a small company to have scaled such incredible odds and delivered in such shorter time is something very remarkable.
Well, Mr. Elon Musk, I would expect, isn't just doing this for show. How soon can we expect a commercial space marketplace to open?
Okay, so that's a very good question. One of the things which Elon Musk really brought to this table is to not just implement space travel, but to do it on the cheap. How do you cut costs? So he brought this business mentality. So, for example, what you see launched, this huge rocket that is launched, which is called the launch vehicle, that used to be destroyed after every launch. And so he said that, well, is there a way we can reuse it? So now that launch vehicle re-lands and is reused. And this has cut down the cost by 80%. What the next steps, what he is doing, he's developing something called a Starship, which is a much larger launch vehicle capable of delivering 100 metric tons. And that is happening right now in Texas. And if this happens in 4 or 5 years, the cost of access to space will go down by maybe 1,000, if not more. So we are entering this area where this activity, which is so prohibitively expensive and meant for the government tourist, a government astronaut, is going to be available to common tourists, probably high net worth individuals still, but still a market which was absolutely unthought of, that you could spend maybe $100,000 or $200,000 and buy a ticket to go to the moon or Mars. So that is perhaps going to happen definitely, probably in the next 20 years, but according to Elon Musk, as early as after 2024.
You're giving me goosebumps here, just thinking about the possibility of traveling into space. I mean, there are critics, though, Mr. Ghosh. A lot of money is spent on space exploration while there are problems here on Earth. What do you say to people who don't understand the relevance of space travel?
So, first is the money goes to mostly paying people on Earth. So people, the astronauts and the scientists like me, we live on Earth. And so the money goes to pay our salary. The hardware that is being developed has vendors on Earth. Two is, if you look at the GDP of the world, maybe it is north of $30 trillion or 30,000 billion. Out of that, the space budget is probably, these missions cost maybe $1 billion, a couple of billion. So it's a very small drop in a big ocean. And third is, there are a lot of offshoots that come from space. Some technologies which are developed for space and later find use on Earth. Example would be the LASIK surgery that corrects your vision. Example would be the digital camera that you use. That was first developed for space, because in space you could not have film cameras. Then you have memory foam or tempera foam. Then you have the infrared thermometer, which is so being widely used right now. So these are the things which happen due to space missions. Maybe later people find a use on Earth. Mm-hmm. And the manpower that is trained for all these do go and contribute and work in Google and Microsoft, and this helps in training human resources for high technology.
All right.
So I think there is a very even benefit paid back.
All right, Mr. Amitabh Ghosh, we appreciate you taking time to speak with us here on TRT World. An incredibly exciting time. I'm sure you're excited as well, and everyone is looking on intently. I suppose we have to wait 20 years, as you said, but thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it.